What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches, back with another video. Happy New Year. It's 2023. Alright, today what you guys are going to be watching is me doing this really pretty double nude ombre, meaning that both colors are actually nude colors. And what we are going to be listening to is me discussing home-based versus suite-based. I get asked that quite a few times. And so I'm going to basically talk to you guys about which do I prefer and how I got to where I am today. All right. So before we go ahead and get into it, you guys know I have coupon codes on my Amazon storefront in the description link below. All you have to do is expand the words underneath the title. Follow me on social media, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out. All right. So really quickly, this particular look, this is a while ago. I can't exactly remember which colors I used. They are not polished colors because you already know if it's not polished, it's not nothing. But this color, it's on the tip of my tongue. Now there's one called Dare Me, which is a more pinker toned color. This one is called Glow something. I can almost see it, but I can't remember the name. And apparently I don't show it in the video. The other color, I feel like it might be Second Nude, the base color, near the cuticle area. That green stain, if you guys are not familiar with greenies, that's basically what happened. She got a lot of water underneath her enhancement and it basically caused bacteria, but once you get the enhancement off, the bacteria pretty much dissipates. However, you will be left with that stain. Okay, so those two things up out the way. If you need help with perfecting your ombre, then I will leave some videos here so you guys can see that. I also have a video on a nude on nude marble ombre if you need more help with blending nude colors together. Okay, I'm so sorry, I have hiccups. So basically we are going to start the year off with talking about suite based versus home based. I get asked what are the differences, which do I prefer, oh, and also shop based. I'm sorry, there's three. You know, which do I prefer, why do I prefer it, and what people always ask me, like, what do you think I should do, what's the best route, blah blah blah. So that's what we're going to go ahead and get into. I am going to say, though, if you want to be suite based or shop based, you need to make sure you are a licensed nail tech, or whatever requirements that your state needs you to follow, you need to do that. And that's probably the main reason why people don't want to be home based. Want to be home based because it's cheaper, because you're not really coming too much out of pocket as far as rent wise. All you have to do is pay for your house, and that's it, which most people, they live with like a roommate or a boyfriend or a family member. They live with someone anyway, so most of the time that is the cheaper alternative if you're not the only one responsible for your rent. All right, so I'm gonna throw that out there, you guys. Seriously consider, especially it's 2023, sessions are starting up, find you a public school. Sometimes you know, the public colleges do have beautician programs, esthetician programs, manicurist programs. Look into it. I know everyone says blah blah blah, it don't matter being licensed. It don't matter being licensed, but all this knowledge that I'm giving to you guys and everything I'm saying, a lot of people appreciate it. And the only reason I know all of this stuff is because I went to school, I got the licensing, and now outside of school I can use my common sense mixed with my education to kind of further along my career. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and start with home-based. Everybody knows what home-based is, but if you happen to be unfamiliar, if you're just kind of stopping by and are curious, home-based is a nail tech who is based out of the home. So that could be an apartment. Some people have like sheds in their backyard. Some people have a house that has a garage. Typically you will see that you know, you'll wait to get the address until you know, a day or two before the appointment, just for their own safety. Now, I have never personally been home based, but I will say this: when I was in nail school and I was practicing at home. So it would be, you know, friends coming by. There's only one girl that actually came to my house that I kind of just met out and about. I will say I personally don't like home based. I do not like the fact that, you know, basically it's a bunch of strangers coming to your home. Now, if that's the only means that you have, totally understandable. However, there are certain documents and paperwork that are supposed to go with that. So it sounds like very easy, like, okay, I'm going to start up and be home based. You guys know I am very all for getting your documentations, getting everything together, because if anybody decide to call state board on you, you're gonna get a huge fine, and in some instances you can get into legal trouble because you are performing services without the proper paperwork, licensing, etc., etc. So it actually helps you out to make sure that you have all your proper documentation and things like that. Home based just wasn't, I knew I wasn't going to be able to be home based because I kind of just couldn't get with the fact that, number one, my house smells like chemicals all the time. No matter how much you air it out, it never quite smells right. And then number two, just you're sometimes your home is not set up for things like this. So sometimes you run into problems like cramped spacing, or sometimes depending on how, where you're actually doing the nails, it can sometimes look a little unprofessional. Like when I was doing it, it was in my bedroom, so they could see my bed, you could definitely see my laundry, things like that. I felt like that looked pretty unprofessional, and that's why I do not like being home-based at all. On top of like some of the situations that I've been in personally, it made me think like I'm glad this wasn't in my own home, because it could have easily escalated. I feel like the pros of that are you're comfortable in your own home, but I think sometimes some people take it a little too far, and so they start to feel like, well, it's my house, my business, my rules, and there tends to kind of be the feeling of, okay, well, if you don't like it, you can get the hell out of my house. And I think that's why a lot of customers are shifting over to trying to find people that are not home-based. So if you do want to go that route, you definitely have to be careful. You definitely have to be way more professional, keep things together and up to date, because based on what some of my clients are saying, it's kind of getting a little tricky out there for some people who are looking for home-based nail techs. Okay, so that's a little bit about home-based, what that is, what it kind of entails. I am suite-based. If you don't know what that is, that means you are working in like a professional plaza, basically a building. Okay, now let's get into it, because it's more than one type of suites. Now, there are some people who are suite-based, and basically, okay, let me back up. Suite-based is really, hey, I have this room, I have this space that is not in my home, it is in someone else's building. You come to this location, it's not a nail shop, it's basically a building with many doors inside that, hey, maybe people do different things, maybe we do the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Now, that can get tricky, because a lot of people try to cut costs with being suite-based. So you'll find sometimes nail techs that will be actually occupying what is for office spaces or things like that. My suite is an actual building that's made for suites. So, for instance, there's like Phoenix Suites, Sola Salon Suites. I don't know, that's here in California, well, in my city. I don't know if those like transcend from like state to state. But basically, it's a building of collective services where each and every room is somebody's actual salon. Like, hey, my paperwork states that this may be a room, but my establishment license says this is a nail salon, this is a hair salon. You see what I'm saying? I absolutely love being suite-based. It does suck paying a good grip of money. You can probably find some cheaper alternatives, but I'm gonna tell you what, you really have to do your research on where you're going. You don't want to get stuck anywhere where it's not a professional place. I've had more than one suite now, and I definitely feel like the money I'm paying is worth it, considering the previous place I tried. I felt like I was the janitor, the manager, the everything in between. And the place that I'm at currently, which is where you guys have pretty much seen most of my suite tour videos, there is a staff here that takes care of the facility. Anything that I need, I'm able to kind of talk to them. I don't really have to worry about anything. I get towel service, all types of stuff. Okay, now the problem with being suite-based is if you try to go the cheaper alternative and say, hey, I want to find a space for $500, whatever, you're more than likely going to be in a random office space. And I'll be honest with you, because there's a lot of people trying to build suites or make suites, and they are not suitable for nails at all. Sometimes they don't have the proper ventilation, which then can cause you to get kicked out because people are always complaining about smell. There's a lot that goes into it. Some might not have the right flooring, because if you don't know, you should have some sort of hard surfaced flooring for spills, so you can mop, so you can sweep up all the dust and things like that. So you can run into a little bit of trouble trying to find a suite that might meet your price point as well as fit your needs. Okay. And then there is shop based, which I have worked in a nail shop before, and it was great because I was new. I didn't have anywhere else to go. You either will pay for booth rent or commission. Booth rent is, hey, I am paying X amount of money this month, just like a one-time monthly fee or weekly fee, however your arrangement is, and this is my desk, this is my stuff. Or you're gonna pay commission, which is, hey, I might not be guaranteed a desk, but if you make money, I'm gonna give you a portion of profit from each client. I personally did commission because at the time I did not have clients. Commission is great when you don't have any clientele, because you might not make a lot of money, but if you don't make money, you don't have to give up any money. So yeah, the only thing with shops is like the mix of personalities, and the fact that even if everyone in there has their own Instagram with their own this, their own that, you may not be treated as such, because it is still someone else's shop. Just because you are renting space there does not mean that person is going to treat you as if you are your own thriving business or your own growing business. So you are still under the, not even just the influence, but you are under the management of that shop. There are rules that you have to follow, so you don't quite get to do everything the way that you might want to. And so that part of it does kind of suck, and that's the reason why I left. It was just, I just really did not like the fact of someone telling me when I could work, when's my schedule, blah blah blah. It's just not the best. All right, so those are a couple of things about each. I would say as you are choosing which way to go, you're kind of going to have to budget out. So for instance, if you want to be home based, you're going to have to think about, okay, well, certain bills might go up, you know, electric, things like that might go up. But for you, you're really going to have to think about, okay, maybe a bill or two might be a little more expensive, but do I have the space to have a professional environment, or am I going to be treating this as whatever because I can just roll out of bed? You know what I'm saying? If you are a person who feels like you are not motivated, I would suggest trying to get a space outside of your home, because unfortunately that could kind of keep you from doing what you need to be doing. I personally know myself. That's another reason why I would not be home based. I like leaving my house to go to work, and you know, you run errands, you do certain stuff. I just personally couldn't do it. If you want to be suite based, you're really going to have to budget. This is how much every month I'm going to be charged to be in this space. So what I did when I first went suite based, because I didn't have any clients, but when I knew I was going to have my space, I basically advertised super discounts, like, hey guys, I'm going to be back doing nails, because it was during COVID. So I was like, hey, I'm going to be back doing nails. The month of July is open. This is what I have. I'm doing, you know, whatever, $35 sets. Boom, boom, boom. Get your books filled up. And once you kind of get a feel for how it is or how it's going, then I calculated, okay, to pay the space that I'm at, I only need 8 plain color sets a week, right? I'm like, if I can just get 8 plain color sets a week, that's enough. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that doesn't even take into account if I get some French tips or some multicolored, like multi-design things, that's perfect. But I knew at minimum, all I needed was 8 plain sets a week. So that's how I would keep track of, am I doing okay? Can I pay for this? Can I afford this? So I honestly really urge you to set up a budget in that way. Definitely you're gonna have to learn how to budget your buying. I noticed a lot of people buy per client, like, hey, this client wants marble, they want this color, let me make sure I buy that color. You guys, that's really, really a bad habit because you're not cutting costs at all. I understand you want to give your clients what they want, but I'm gonna tell you what, they're just gonna choose whatever you have at the time. Okay, it's really costing a lot. It's costing y'all a lot of money. Okay, so that's the biggest thing, is making sure you can afford that suite. Now, as far as being shop based, it's really good for those who are in between spaces, or you're thinking about, I want to what do they call that? I want to switch to suite based, but I'm not quite there with my clientele. I would suggest you can try a shop, right? And there's not just like regular shops. I worked in like a black girl shop. You know, there are people who have more like Instagram-ish shops where everyone there does like Instagram type nails. So you just kind of have to look, and honestly be careful with that, because there are a lot of people out there that are kind of shady, and you'll be under the impression of like, oh wow, that person might be popular, or that person wants me to work there. There are people that take advantage in this industry just to keep their name popular or whatever. So just, you know, watch out for that. But a shop is a really good in between if you really need to pick up clients, or you want to switch to working outside of your home, but you can't afford it yet. I would definitely suggest going that route and doing maybe commission. So, you know, hopefully this is something that can kind of help you guys think about that. I get asked these type of questions a lot. I know this is probably not the type of video you were expecting, but I kind of wanted to just do something light, especially because I recently found this footage is old. This is probably got to be like 2 months old. So I kind of wanted to use it, but I know I do ombres a lot on my channel, and I just did a couple of nude videos. But yeah, when no matter which type of place that you're choosing to do nails, you really, really want to make sure you have the correct ventilation. All right, because that can make you and your clients sick if you do not have the right type of ventilation to make sure that the dust is not just constantly floating in the air and the smell is not extremely strong in there. You want to make sure you have the right type of floorings. If you're a person that has carpet, I would suggest you can go to like Home Depot or something, and they have like wooden planks kind of that fit in between each other, and I would suggest putting that at least underneath your desk so you do have a hard surface. Because I'm a person, I mop every single morning at work, and every day there is so much dirt and dust on the ground, even after vacuuming or whatever. And so what you don't want is for that to be stuck into your carpet. It protects from spills as well. And you kind of want to make sure, like, location wise, are you feeling safe enough to work there, right? So in your own home, you might be feeling safe because that is your own home, but you're going to think about, when conflicts arise, do I feel safe here? When you're in a suite like I am, well, at a really nice professional one, we do have surveillance cameras like in the hallways. There's surveillance like right in front of the building. I do have people that are like staff. There's like management of the building, so if there's a problem that I really feel like I don't feel like dealing with this, I can let them know. Like for example, one time I had this girl, she really was like so late, and I extended her grace period. She was late to that, so I left because I don't have time to wait. I gotta go on with my day. She showed up anyways and was acting a fool up there, and so something told me to call and be like, hey, in case this girl shows up, please just know I don't know her, but she's kind of acting a fool. And of course they could recognize the girl, like, oh, she's in here shouting your name right now, blah blah blah. And so things like that, I can actually notify them, because I don't want my shit getting messed up. Like, what if she would have went in there, try to mess with my stuff or whatever? So you kind of have to think about the bigger picture with some of these situations. It's not just about, hey, what's going to save me the most money. You want to think about, you really want to think about what you're going to get the most value out of. And like, since I've been suite based since 2020, it's honestly pretty hard for me to think that I'm going to do anything else. People always mention to me like, oh, you could be home based, and then, you know, your money will stretch further, because it's like really hard for me to move and stuff, because what I pay for my suite is quite a good amount. So home based always sounds good to me until I go through weird situations to where it's like, dang, I'm glad I was not at my home. So you're gonna have to think about what's exactly gonna work for you and what can you maintain. Because I'll tell you this, you don't want to be moving a whole bunch here and there and everywhere, because it's going to be hard for your clients to keep up with you. if you keep moving locations a lot. I understand sometimes that's just what has to happen, but whatever choice you make, think of it as a long-term choice. Like, hey, I'm at least gonna be here for like the next year, or hey, I'm gonna be here for the next 6 months or something, because you want to treat it as though this is going to be a permanent decision, so that way you don't have your mind fixed on like, I could leave anytime I want. Because honestly, it's not fun moving and redecorating and trying to reorganize and stuff. It's really not. So that's pretty much my 2 cents on the matter. I feel like I'm hoping this will help someone think about some other aspects when it comes to deciding on a space, because I understand it can be hard and scary, especially if you're clientele, especially if you don't have very many clients. It can be extremely hard to think about, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna work? If you're new to the industry, it can be difficult. Like I said, home-based is like really more popular now, but a lot of people are starting to lean towards suite-based, just because I think it allows them a little more, I feel like maybe they think it might be more professional than what they had. Not to say like working from home is unprofessional, obviously, but everybody has different resources. Some people are able to have that extra room at their house to where it's decorated nice and things are together. Some people are having to just try and make it work in the living room or the dining room, and maybe they don't want to anymore. Maybe they want their home to be separate from work, and they just want their professional life to no longer be in their home, and that's just what it comes down to, you know what I'm saying? So we've pretty much come to the end of this video. I hope that you guys have had a really great start to your 2023. I mean, it's only day 2, but I will be on break until Thursday. I have a client tomorrow because she booked before I'm going on break, and so my content is going to be spread out this week. I'll be back at work on Friday, so we might have some more like here and there videos over the next couple of days. I do have a very wintry look that I still need to upload, and then whatever I do tomorrow, I'll make sure I record. So I've got at least 2 more videos coming for you guys before Friday. And if my hair will come, you guys, I ordered me some freaking bundles because I'm tired of my own hair, and I'm hoping they come soon so that way I can go ahead and freaking install them or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking just to talk because I want my hair to come. But yeah, so I have a couple of looks for you guys. I just want to start out with like really nice and easy video, just to let you guys know I'm here, I'm back. I really missed y'all, and I wish blessings and clients for everybody 2023. All right, so of course here's the final look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it helped some of you guys. I know it was long, I apologize, but you already know I will see you guys in the next video.